Welcome to my YouTube channel, Sleepy Minutes. Today, we are going to discuss a story about human emotions. So, let's begin the story. Once upon a time, in a quiet town in the United States, there lived a young man named Ethan and a young woman named Clara. Ethan had soft brown hair and gentle eyes that reflected the calm of early morning. Clara, with her dark flowing hair and warm smile, carried a sense of peace wherever she went. Both of them loved long walks in nature, especially in the vast garden that surrounded their little town. This garden wasn't ordinary. It felt like a secret place, where thoughts could rest and emotions could breathe. One calm evening, as the sky melted into shades of pink and purple, Ethan and Clara wandered through the garden together. The wind whispered softly, and the rustling leaves seemed to hum a gentle lullaby. Clara took a deep breath and said, "Do you ever feel like emotions are like this garden? Sometimes calm, sometimes wild, but always beautiful." Ethan smiled, his voice soft like the breeze. "Yes, every feeling has its own color. And every color tells a story about who we are." As they walked, they noticed small flowers swaying gently. Ethan bent down to touch a delicate bluebell and said, "I read somewhere that seeing calm colors can actually lower your heart rate and make you feel peaceful." Clara nodded. "And smiling, even a little, can trick our brain into feeling happiness. It's strange how our emotions and body are connected." Ethan chuckled softly. "It's like the garden knows what we need before we even do." They continued deeper into the garden, passing a pond that mirrored the sky. The water was still, reflecting the soft light of the sunset. Clara knelt and touched the surface gently. "Did you know," she murmured, "that looking at something reflective, like water or a mirror, can make people feel more aware of their emotions? Sometimes it helps to understand what we feel." Ethan sat beside her and dipped his fingers into the cool water. "I guess that's why we feel calm here. This place is a mirror for our minds." As darkness began to settle, Ethan noticed a faint glow among the trees. Tiny fireflies danced in the air, their lights flickering softly. "Even tiny things, like seeing these little lights, can spark joy and wonder," he said. Clara smiled and whispered, "Our emotions are like fireflies sometimes, small, but they light up the dark parts of our hearts." They both laughed softly, the sound mingling with the evening wind, comforting and gentle. They found a cozy bench under an old oak tree. Sitting down, Clara leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder. "It's fascinating," she said quietly, "how sadness, joy, fear, and love are all chemicals in our brains, yet they feel so real. Like this garden, emotions are invisible, but alive." Ethan nodded, feeling the truth in her words. Even small acts of kindness, like a gentle word or touch, release chemicals that make people feel safe and connected. He reached out and held her hand softly. "We carry each other's emotions sometimes, without even realizing it." Night wrapped the garden in a blanket of stars. The air was calm, and every sound, the rustling leaves, the distant chirp of crickets, felt like a lullaby. Ethan whispered, "Do you think emotions need quiet places like this to grow?" Clara smiled softly, closing her eyes. "Yes. Just like plants, feelings need care and attention, and sometimes, they need silence to bloom fully. They sat there, hand in hand. As the garden glowed under the moonlight, the gentle night carried their thoughts, their feelings, and the quiet understanding that emotions were a part of life's soft, endless rhythm. Here, in this peaceful place, Ethan and Clara realized that every feeling, no matter how small or strong, was a part of the beautiful story of being human. And with each passing moment, they felt more at peace, drifting slowly toward a gentle sleep, wrapped in the quiet magic of the garden. The night deepened, and the garden seemed to breathe with Ethan and Clara. As they rose from the old oak bench, moonlight spilled across the paths, turning each leaf into a silver whisper. Clara suggested they follow the soft sound of flowing water nearby. "There's a small river hidden behind the willows," she said. "It's one of the quietest places in the garden. I think it helps with clarity. Like emotions need rivers to move." Ethan nodded, feeling the calm tug of curiosity and wonder. They walked slowly, their footsteps soft against the damp grass. The air was filled with the gentle scent of jasmine and earth. As they reached the river, they paused to watch the water ripple under the moonlight. "Did you know," Ethan said quietly, "that just listening to water can reduce stress and lower cortisol levels? Our minds start to feel lighter when we're near flowing water." Clara smiled, dipping her fingers into the cool stream. "It's like each ripple carries away worries, one at a time." They sat on a smooth rock by the riverbank, their feet brushing the water's edge. Clara leaned back, letting the night sounds fill her senses. "Emotions are strange," she whispered. "Sometimes they're calm, like this river, and sometimes they're wild, like a storm. But even the wild ones teach us something." Ethan gently took her hand. "Even sadness or fear has a purpose. They help us notice what's important, and remind us to care for ourselves and others." The water glimmered, as small fish swam close to the surface. Clara's eyes followed them in quiet wonder. "I read that seeing movement, like these little fish, can spark curiosity and joy. It reminds our brain that life is always changing, always moving." Ethan smiled softly. "Emotions are like that too. They move in patterns we can't always control. But we can observe them, like watching the river flow." A gentle breeze stirred the willow branches, and the rustling leaves created a soft melody. Ethan and Clara closed their eyes, letting the night wrap around them. "You know," Clara said in a whisper, "our minds store emotions not just in our hearts, but in our bodies too. That's why deep breathing or stretching can calm anxiety. It's like the body remembers what the mind feels." Ethan nodded slowly, feeling the truth in her words. And hugs, or holding hands, release oxytocin. It makes people feel safe, loved, and connected, like we're sharing the river's calm together. They stayed there for a long while, just breathing and listening. Clara finally spoke. "Even small acts of gratitude, like noticing the stars or the sound of this river, can boost happiness. It's amazing how tiny moments can shift the way we feel." Ethan tilted his head to look at her, soft moonlight painting her face. "It's true. Emotions are delicate and powerful. They guide us quietly, if we pay attention." The night seemed to slow, each second stretching into calm awareness. Fireflies drifted across the river, tiny glowing reminders of joy in the dark. Clara whispered, "Even brief happiness leaves a mark. It's like a small light that stays in our hearts, even when the world feels heavy." Ethan squeezed her hand gently. "And when we share these moments with someone we care about, they grow stronger. Life feels lighter, and our hearts feel full." As the moon rose higher, the river's gentle music and the whispering trees seemed to lull them further into a peaceful state. Ethan and Clara leaned back on the soft grass, side by side, feeling the night's embrace. Every thought, every feeling, every small heartbeat felt like part of a larger rhythm. A quiet story of human emotion. And in that serene silence, they realized that understanding feelings wasn't about controlling them, but about noticing, feeling, and letting them flow like the river beneath the moonlit sky. With the stars overhead, and the soft river below, they slowly let sleep carry them, wrapped in the gentle warmth of the night, feeling safe, calm, and connected to the endless rhythm of emotions all around them. After the quiet river, Ethan and Clara rose and wandered toward a small path that led into a dense, peaceful forest. The trees were tall and protective, their branches forming a soft roof above, letting only a few strands of moonlight filter through. Clara held Ethan's hand and whispered, "I love this place. It feels like the forest keeps secrets, like it holds our dreams and emotions safely." Ethan smiled, feeling the calm settle deeper inside him. As they walked, the forest seemed alive with gentle sounds. The rustling leaves, distant hoots of owls, and the soft footsteps of small creatures. "Did you know," Ethan said softly, "that being in nature can reduce anxiety and make our minds sharper? Even short walks among trees can lift our mood." Clara nodded, breathing in the earthy scent. "It's true, nature has a way of reminding us that life is bigger than our worries, and that our feelings are part of a larger rhythm." They came across a clearing where soft moss grew thick like a green carpet. Clara knelt down, letting her fingers brush the moss. "I read that touching textures, like soft moss or sand, can calm the mind. Our senses help our emotions find balance," she said quietly. Ethan bent beside her, smiling, and even noticing small details, like patterns on leaves, or the shimmer of a spider's web, can bring a sense of wonder, which makes our brains feel calm and happy. In the center of the clearing was a small, glowing lantern, hanging from a branch, casting a warm, golden light. The light flickered gently, like a heartbeat in the quiet night. "Lanterns remind me of hope," Clara said softly. "Even in darkness, there's light. Even in sadness, there's a spark of joy waiting to be noticed." Ethan reached out and touched her hand. "That's the beauty of emotions. Even small joys can shine brightly, if we pay attention." They walked slowly toward the deeper forest, where the path twisted gently. Clara whispered, "Fear can feel heavy, but here, it feels different. When we face it gently, like walking carefully on a quiet path, it teaches us courage. It's a part of growth." Ethan nodded. "And anger, too, is just energy. If we notice it without letting it control us, it can help us make better choices. Emotions guide us, if we listen. Above, stars peeked through the branches, like tiny promises. Clara tilted her head and watched them. Even small moments of awe, like looking at stars, release happiness in our brains. Our feelings respond to beauty and calm, she said. Ethan smiled, letting the forest surround them with its quiet embrace. It's amazing how emotions connect us to everything. The trees, the river, the stars, and to each other. They finally reached a gentle hill, where they could sit and look out over the forest. The night sky stretched endlessly above, and the forest below seemed to breathe in perfect silence. Clara leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder. It feels safe here, like our emotions can rest. Even difficult feelings can soften in quiet spaces like this. Ethan held her close. Yes, and every emotion is part of our story. Every feeling, every thought, every quiet heartbeat matters. A soft breeze carried the scent of pine and night flowers. The forest whispered a lullaby that only those who truly listened could hear. Clara closed her eyes. Ethan did the same. Together, they felt the night's calm wrap around them. Their minds slowing, their hearts steadying. In the forest of dreams, where emotions flowed like rivers, and light flickered like hope, they understood that being aware, gentle, and present with their feelings was the key to peace. Slowly, sleep came, carrying them into dreams, where the forest, the river, and the garden blended into one endless, comforting world. Every emotion, from joy to sadness, from curiosity to love, was safe here. And Ethan and Clara slept peacefully, held by the gentle rhythm of the night, and the quiet magic of understanding their hearts. After a long walk through the quiet forest, Ethan and Clara found themselves stepping into a soft, open meadow, bathed in silver moonlight. The grass swayed gently, as if greeting them, and tiny wildflowers glimmered like stars scattered across the ground. Clara inhaled deeply and whispered, "This place feels timeless. Like it holds all the memories we've ever had, quietly waiting." Ethan nodded. Memories shape our emotions more than we realize. They are like seeds planted in our hearts, growing feelings we sometimes don't even notice. They walked slowly, feeling the soft earth beneath their feet. "Did you know," Ethan said softly, "that even recalling happy memories can release chemicals like dopamine in our brains, making us feel calm and joyful?" Clara smiled gently. "And even remembering small acts of kindness, whether we did them or received them, helps our minds feel safe and connected." She picked a small lavender flower and let it brush her cheek. Scent and touch can trigger these feelings too. Our senses hold emotional memories in a quiet, magical way. A gentle breeze brushed the meadow, carrying with it the soft scent of night-blooming jasmine. Clara closed her eyes, letting the wind wash over her. "Sad memories can be heavy," she whispered. "But if we remember them gently, without judgment, they teach us lessons about ourselves. They show us what matters, and sometimes they remind us to be kind to others." Ethan reached out and took her hand softly. Even pain can be part of growth. Our brains process these emotions slowly, giving us time to heal. They reached a small circle of ancient oak trees in the center of the meadow. Moonlight filtered through their branches, creating a delicate pattern on the ground. I read that reflecting on our feelings in calm spaces like this can help balance our minds, Ethan said quietly. It's like giving each emotion a place to rest, instead of letting it float uncontrolled. Clara nodded, her eyes soft. When we honor our feelings instead of ignoring them, even fear or sadness feels lighter. It's a way to care for ourselves. Nearby, a gentle stream trickled quietly, the water sparkling as it wound through the meadow. Ethan bent down and touched the surface. Water seems to make emotions move, like the river we saw earlier. It reminds us that feelings don't stay still, they flow, and that's natural. Clara watched the ripples dance in the moonlight. And sometimes, watching something so peaceful helps us understand that life itself moves in waves. Happiness, sadness, love, and worry, they're all part of the rhythm. A few fireflies drifted lazily above the grass, their soft glow calming and gentle. Clara whispered, "Even tiny joys, like these lights, can make a big difference in how we feel. Our brains respond to wonder, no matter how small." Ethan smiled and squeezed her hand. It's amazing how little moments, memories, sights, touches, scents combine to shape our inner world. That's why being present matters. Every feeling, every memory, every breath counts. They lay down on the soft grass, side by side, letting the meadow embrace them. The wind carried a gentle song, the stream hummed softly, and the flowers seemed to sway in quiet rhythm. Clara rested her head on Ethan's shoulder. "Our emotions are like this meadow," she said softly. "Sometimes quiet, sometimes bright, always alive." Ethan closed his eyes, feeling the truth of her words. And just like this meadow, we can let our emotions rest, grow, and bloom at their own pace. Under the gentle moonlight, surrounded by memories and nature, they felt a deep calm settle within them. Sleep began to draw them in, a soft, quiet lullaby guiding their hearts. In the meadow of memories, every feeling, joy, fear, love, sadness, found its place. And Ethan and Clara drifted into peaceful, gentle dreams, wrapped in the quiet magic of their hearts. As the meadow's quiet embrace faded behind them, Ethan and Clara began climbing a soft hill, rising gently against the night sky. The grass under their feet was cool and soft, and the moon cast a silver glow over the path ahead. Clara inhaled deeply and said, "I like walking to high places at night. It feels like we can see everything at once, our thoughts, our feelings, even the world itself." Ethan nodded. "Being up high makes it easier to notice the bigger picture. It's like stepping back from our emotions and seeing them clearly, without panic or rush." Halfway up the hill, they paused and sat on a smooth rock. Ethan brushed a lock of hair from Clara's face. "You know," he said softly, "reflection is a powerful tool. Simply thinking about why we feel certain things can help our brains organize emotions and reduce stress." Clara smiled, watching the stars twinkle above. "It's interesting, even small moments of awareness, like noticing how our hearts beat when we're excited, or how our chest feels heavy when we're sad, can help us understand ourselves better." The night air was cool, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. Clara tilted her head back and whispered, "I read that journaling, or even just thinking quietly about our feelings, can improve mental clarity. Our emotions don't have to overwhelm us if we take time to observe them. Ethan nodded, feeling the truth in her words. And sharing thoughts with someone we trust, like I'm doing with you, strengthens our connection and eases the weight of difficult feelings. Empathy is like a gentle bridge between hearts. They continued their slow climb, each step deliberate, feeling the night surround them. Clara reached for Ethan's hand. Even negative emotions, like fear or anger, can be useful, she said quietly. They teach us boundaries, courage, and what we care about most. Ethan squeezed her hand gently. Yes, they remind us we're alive, and help us appreciate joy and calm even more. At the top of the hill, they found a wide clearing. Soft grass stretching under the moonlight. The view was breathtaking. The forest, meadow, and river from earlier glowed faintly in the night. Clara whispered, "Looking at this reminds me that every experience, every emotion, is part of a larger journey. Nothing is wasted, even sadness has meaning." Ethan rested his head beside hers. And seeing it from here helps us understand patterns. How our emotions flow like seasons, sometimes stormy, sometimes calm, but always moving forward. A gentle breeze stirred, carrying the faint sound of distant night creatures. Fireflies drifted lazily through the air, their soft light reflecting in their eyes. Clara smiled and said softly, "Small joys, like seeing the fireflies, or hearing the wind, or feeling the grass. They all remind us that happiness doesn't have to be big. Tiny sparks can light up the dark parts of our hearts." Ethan nodded, closing his eyes. And gratitude for these small things releases calm and peace in the mind. Our hearts rest better when we notice these simple moments. They lay down on the soft grass, side by side, letting the hill cradle them. Clara rested her head on Ethan's chest, listening to the gentle rhythm of his heartbeat. "It feels like our emotions are finally settling," she whispered. "Like all the worries and thoughts are floating away, leaving only calm and understanding." Ethan held her close. And that's what matters, feeling connected to each other, to ourselves, and to this quiet night. Every feeling, every moment, every breath is enough. Above them, stars shimmered softly, the moon shining like a gentle guardian. The hills seemed to hum with the quiet rhythm of life itself. Slowly, sleep wrapped them in a gentle embrace. In the hill of reflection, Ethan and Clara drifted into dreams, where every emotion, joy, sadness, curiosity, love, or wonder, was safe, understood, and at peace. And as they slept, the night whispered softly around them, promising calm hearts and restful minds. After resting on the hill of reflection, Ethan and Clara slowly descended, guided by the soft moonlight. The air was cool and soothing, and the night seemed to carry a gentle hum, as if the earth itself was breathing with them. Clara whispered, "I think the night helps our minds talk to themselves, like a quiet garden where emotions can speak freely." Ethan nodded. "Yes, sometimes, in silence, we understand our feelings better than in the chaos of the day." They walked hand in hand, returning to the garden where their journey had begun. But now, it felt different. The flowers seemed to glow faintly, and the trees whispered softly, as if greeting old friends. Clara paused to touch a delicate white lily. "I read that noticing small details in nature helps the mind calm down. It's like meditation without even trying." Ethan smiled softly. Our brains respond to beauty and gentle movement. Even watching the flowers sway can reduce stress and make us feel more balanced. They followed a narrow path through the garden, where lanterns hung from low branches, flickering like tiny stars. Lanterns remind me of hope, Clara said quietly. Even when everything feels dark, there's always a little light to guide us. Ethan glanced at her, eyes gentle. Just like emotions, even sadness or fear carries a spark that can teach us something or lead us to something better. Along the path, a soft fountain gurgled quietly, water spilling into a small pool. Ethan knelt and touched the surface, feeling the cool liquid flow over his fingers. Water is like feelings, he murmured. It moves, it reflects, it carries things along. And we can't control it, only notice it and let it flow. Clara sat beside him, watching the ripples. And when we do notice, we feel more at peace. Emotions become friends rather than strangers. The garden seemed alive with whispers. Tiny sounds almost too soft to hear. Clara tilted her head, listening. Our subconscious thoughts are like this, she whispered. Sometimes faint, sometimes hidden, but always guiding us. Paying attention gently helps us understand what our hearts need. Ethan nodded. Even dreams are part of that conversation. They help us process emotions we can't always face in the day. A soft breeze carried the scent of night-blooming jasmine and rose. Fireflies drifted lazily among the flowers, casting tiny glimmers of light. Clara reached for Ethan's hand. Even tiny moments, like these lights, or the smell of flowers, or a gentle touch, can spark happiness. Our hearts remember small joys longer than big ones. Ethan squeezed her hand. And sharing them makes the feeling stronger. That's why connection matters. It amplifies calm, peace, and love. They found a quiet bench beneath an arch of flowering vines and sat down together. Clara rested her head on Ethan's shoulder. It's amazing, she said softly, how our brains process emotions. Even the tiniest feeling, like curiosity, awe, or calm, can change our state of mind. Ethan closed his eyes, listening to the gentle hum of the garden. And gratitude for what we notice, even the small things, helps us sleep better, think more clearly, and feel safe inside. Above them, the moon shone softly, the stars blinking gently. Every leaf, every petal, every ripple of water seemed to hold a secret understanding. And as Ethan and Clara sat in the garden of whispers, their breathing slowed, hearts relaxed, and minds softened. Slowly, sleep came, wrapping them in gentle dreams where every emotion, joy, fear, love, calm, or wonder, was safe, acknowledged, and at peace. In the soft night, with the garden around them, Ethan and Clara slept deeply, their hearts and minds resting in harmony with the quiet rhythm of life itself. After resting in the garden of whispers, Ethan and Clara walked along a narrow, winding path that led them toward a hidden lake. The moon reflected softly on the water surface, making it look like a mirror of silver. Clara whispered, "There's something about still water. It feels like it absorbs all the noise in our minds." Ethan nodded. Yes, being near calm water helps our emotions settle, like they're floating gently instead of racing. They sat at the edge of the lake, legs dangling just above the cool water. Ethan reached out and touched the surface. Tiny ripples spread softly, reflecting the moonlight. "Did you know," he said quietly, "that even watching ripples or waves can reduce stress hormones in our bodies? Our minds respond to gentle movement as if it's a quiet massage for our emotions." Clara smiled, dipping her fingers in and letting the water slide through them. It's like letting feelings flow instead of holding them inside. They can move naturally, without forcing anything. The night was calm, filled with soft sounds, the distant call of an owl, the gentle rustle of trees, the quiet lap of water against the shore. Clara leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder. "Even negative emotions have their place," she said softly. "Fear teaches us caution, sadness teaches empathy, anger teaches boundaries. They all help us grow if we pay attention to them." Ethan wrapped an arm around her. "And joy, love, and curiosity remind us why life feels warm and safe, even when the dark parts of the mind visit." A gentle breeze carried the scent of water lilies and soft grass. Fireflies danced above the lake, tiny lights flickering and fading in the calm night. Clara whispered, "Tiny joys like these, small moments of wonder, release happiness in our brains. It's amazing how even simple things can brighten our hearts." Ethan nodded slowly. "And sharing these moments with someone you care about doubles the effect. Connection amplifies peace." They watched the reflection of the stars on the lake's surface, noticing how the water moved with the slightest touch of wind. "Our emotions are like this lake," Clara said quietly. "Sometimes still, sometimes rippling, but always alive. If we observe instead of control them, we find calm." Ethan smiled softly. "Even memories work the same way. Some ripple gently, some create waves, but eventually they settle, leaving us wiser and more understanding." As they lay on the soft grass near the lake, Ethan gently held Clara's hand. "Being present in the moment helps our minds rest," he whispered, "noticing our feelings, letting them flow, appreciating small joys, all of this calms the brain and eases our hearts." Clara closed her eyes, breathing in the soft night air. "And when we sleep with awareness of these things, our dreams can help process emotions, heal old wounds, and restore peace." The moon rose higher, casting a gentle glow over the lake and surrounding trees. Every rustle, every ripple, every glow of light seemed like a lullaby composed just for them. Ethan and Clara felt their hearts lighten, their breathing slow, and their minds soften. In the calm of the night, the lake reflected not just the stars above, but the quiet understanding in their hearts. Slowly, sleep embraced them, carrying them into gentle dreams where every feeling, fear, love, curiosity, sadness, and joy, was safe, acknowledged, and flowing naturally. And as they drifted deeper, the lake of calm became a sanctuary for their hearts, reminding them that peace and understanding were always within reach, as long as they stayed present and aware. After resting by the lake of calm, Ethan and Clara rose together, feeling a quiet serenity in their hearts. The moonlight guided them along a winding path, leading to an old wooden bridge stretching over a small, shimmering stream. The bridge creaked softly beneath their feet, but it felt sturdy, almost like it had been waiting for them. Clara whispered, "Bridges feel symbolic, like they connect one feeling to another, one thought to another." Ethan nodded. Yes, sometimes we need to cross over. From confusion to clarity, from fear to understanding, from sadness to peace. They paused midway, looking down at the stream below. The water sparkled, reflecting the moon like liquid silver. Did you know, Ethan said quietly, that reflecting on our feelings, like we're doing now, strengthens emotional intelligence. Our brains learn patterns and connections between emotions, which helps us understand ourselves better. Clara smiled softly. It's comforting, like every emotion has a place, a purpose, and a lesson. The bridge swayed gently in rhythm with the wind, and Clara reached for Ethan's hand. Even challenging feelings, like anger or jealousy, are teachers. She whispered, if we face them calmly, without judgment, we can understand what triggers them, and learn to respond with kindness instead of reaction. Ethan nodded. And love, joy, and curiosity remind us of the beauty of life. They balance the heavier emotions, giving our hearts rhythm and harmony. As they walked slowly across the bridge, the sound of the stream below created a soft, comforting melody. Clara closed her eyes, leaning lightly on Ethan's shoulder. Even simple sounds, like water or wind or footsteps, can influence our mood, she said quietly. Our senses are tied closely to emotions, and noticing them gently can help us feel safe and calm. Ethan smiled. That's why nature is so healing. It gives our brains cues to relax, to slow down, to feel present. Above them, the sky was scattered with stars. The moon shone softly, casting delicate shadows across the bridge. Clara whispered, awareness is the key. When we notice how we feel, without trying to change it immediately, emotions shift naturally. It's like observing the stream below. Ripples come and go, but the water keeps flowing. Ethan squeezed her hand gently. Every feeling, even sadness or worry, passes eventually. Observing allows us to flow with it, rather than fight it. They stopped in the center of the bridge, letting the quiet wrap around them. Fireflies floated lazily above the stream, their soft glow reflecting on the water. Small moments of wonder, like these lights, are reminders of joy. Clara whispered, even tiny sparks of happiness can leave a lasting imprint on the heart. Ethan nodded slowly. And when shared with someone you care about, those sparks grow brighter. Connection and presence amplify peace. The bridge seemed to stretch endlessly, carrying them gently over the water, into a sense of deep understanding. Clara rested her head on Ethan's shoulder, feeling the quiet rhythm of his heartbeat. It feels like our emotions are finally aligned, she whispered. Like confusion has softened, and clarity has arrived. Ethan smiled softly. That's what reflection does. It helps us cross from uncertainty to calm, from turbulence to understanding. Slowly, they sat on the edge of the bridge, letting the night cradle them. The stream hummed softly beneath. The wind whispered through the trees, and the stars shone like quiet guides. Sleep began to descend, wrapping them in a gentle embrace. On the bridge of understanding, every feeling, fear, love, joy, curiosity, and calm, was accepted, flowing safely, and finding its natural place in their hearts. In the stillness of the night, Ethan and Clara drifted deeper into dreams. Carried gently by the rhythm of emotions, fully at peace, and quietly aligned with the world around them. After resting on the bridge of understanding, Ethan and Clara walked hand in hand along a soft path, leading them into a wide meadow. This meadow was unlike any they had seen before. Moonlight sparkled on the grass as if tiny stars had fallen to the earth, and gentle flowers swayed like whispers in the wind. Clara sighed softly. "It feels like the stars themselves are here with us, guiding us through the night." Ethan smiled. "Sometimes, noticing beauty around us reminds our hearts of the calm we carry inside." They walked slowly through the soft grass, letting each step sink into the cool earth. "Did you know," Ethan whispered, "that spending quiet time under the night sky can lower stress and make us feel connected to the universe? Our brains respond to awe in a gentle, calming way." Clara nodded, glancing up at the countless stars above. "It's amazing how small moments like this, feeling the breeze, noticing the light, can influence our mood and bring a sense of peace." They found a gentle rise in the meadow, and sat together, legs tucked beneath them, looking out over the sparkling night. Clara leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder. Even tiny joys, like watching the stars or feeling the grass, release chemicals in our brains that make us feel safe and happy, she said softly. Ethan brushed a strand of hair from her face. "And sharing them with someone we care about strengthens that feeling. It multiplies calm and comfort." The night air was filled with soft sounds. The whisper of the wind, distant crickets, and the faint murmur of leaves. Clara closed her eyes, breathing slowly. "Our senses are powerful," she whispered. "Even a gentle sound or soft texture can change how we feel. Touch, sight, smell, and sound all carry emotions silently." The bridge seemed to stretch endlessly, carrying them gently over the water, into a sense of deep understanding. Clara rested her head on Ethan's shoulder, feeling the quiet rhythm of his heartbeat. "It feels like our emotions are finally aligned," she whispered. "Like confusion has softened, and clarity has arrived." Ethan smiled softly. "That's what reflection does. It helps us cross from uncertainty to calm, from turbulence to understanding." Slowly, they sat on the edge of the bridge, letting the night cradle them. The stream hummed softly beneath. The wind whispered through the trees, and the stars shone like quiet guides. Sleep began to descend, wrapping them in a gentle embrace. On the bridge of understanding, every feeling, fear, love, joy, curiosity, and calm, was accepted, flowing safely, and finding its natural place in their hearts. In the stillness of the night, Ethan and Clara drifted deeper into dreams, carried gently by the rhythm of emotions, fully at peace, and quietly aligned with the world around them. After resting on the bridge of understanding, Ethan and Clara walked hand in hand along a soft path, leading them into a wide meadow. This meadow was unlike any they had seen before. Moonlight sparkled on the grass as if tiny stars had fallen to the earth, and gentle flowers swayed like whispers in the wind. Clara sighed softly. "It feels like the stars themselves are here with us, guiding us through the night." Ethan smiled. "Sometimes, noticing beauty around us reminds our hearts of the calm we carry inside." They walked slowly through the soft grass, letting each step sink into the cool earth. "Did you know," Ethan whispered, "that spending quiet time under the night sky can lower stress and make us feel connected to the universe? Our brains respond to awe in a gentle, calming way. Clara nodded, glancing up at the countless stars above. It's amazing how small moments like this, feeling the breeze, noticing the light, can influence our mood and bring a sense of peace. They found a gentle rise in the meadow, and sat together, legs tucked beneath them, looking out over the sparkling night. Clara leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder. Even tiny joys, like watching the stars or feeling the grass, release chemicals in our brains that make us feel safe and happy. She said softly. Ethan brushed a strand of hair from her face. And sharing them with someone we care about strengthens that feeling. It multiplies calm and comfort. The night air was filled with soft sounds. The whisper of the wind, distant crickets, and the faint murmur of leaves. Clara closed her eyes, breathing slowly. Our senses are powerful, she whispered. Even a gentle sound or soft texture can change how we feel. Touch, sight, smell, and sound all carry emotions silently. As they walked, the moonlight lit up tiny wildflowers scattered across the field. Clara knelt to touch one, whispering. Even small gestures of noticing, like appreciating a flower or a sound, release happiness in the brain. Awareness of little things is powerful. Ethan smiled and reached for her hand. And sharing these moments with someone you trust doubles the effect. Connection makes emotions lighter and hearts calmer. They found a soft hill in the middle of the field, and sat together, side by side, letting the quiet night surround them. Clara rested her head on Ethan's shoulder. Even sadness and worry have their purpose, she said softly. They teach us lessons, help us grow, and make the joyful moments brighter. Ethan nodded. Every emotion has its place, like every echo in this field. Nothing is wasted. Everything shapes us quietly. The gentle breeze carried the scent of night grass and flowers. Fireflies floated lazily, their tiny lights flickering like distant stars. Clara whispered. Tiny moments of wonder, like watching fireflies or feeling the wind, release calm and happiness. Even brief sparks leave lasting impressions on our hearts. Ethan smiled and squeezed her hand. And noticing these sparks together, it's like a bridge of understanding between us. It makes our emotions feel safer and warmer. Above them, the stars shimmered softly, scattered across the sky like silver dust. Clara whispered. Our emotions are like these stars, each one shining, sometimes faint, sometimes bright, but all part of the bigger picture. Ethan nodded slowly. Even fear, anger, or confusion has its place among the lights. Awareness and presence let us accept every feeling without judgment. They lay down on the soft grass side by side, watching the stars above. Clara whispered. It feels like everything inside me is safe here. Every thought, every heartbeat, every feeling. Ethan held her hand a little tighter. Yes, just being present and observing is enough. We don't need to control or fix anything. Peace comes from noticing and accepting. The field seemed to breathe around them, alive with soft whispers of wind and echoes. Slowly, sleep began to wrap them in its gentle embrace. In the field of echoes, every emotion, joy, love, curiosity, fear, or calm, was reflected, acknowledged, and safely returned to them, allowing their hearts and minds to rest fully. Under the quiet night sky, Ethan and Clara drifted deeper into dreams. Carried by the rhythm of emotions, fully at peace, and gently aligned with the world around them. After resting in the Garden of Light, Ethan and Clara stood and began walking along a narrow path, winding gently through the garden. The path was soft under their feet, lined with moss and small flowers that seemed to glow faintly in the moonlight. Clara whispered, "Paths like this feel safe, like they guide us without rushing. Maybe our emotions need paths too, to flow slowly." Ethan nodded. Yes, noticing the path we take inside ourselves can help us understand feelings gently, without pressure or fear. They walked hand in hand, letting the quiet night surround them. "Did you know?" Ethan said softly. "That quiet reflection, even while walking slowly, can help our minds process stress? The brain notices patterns and begins to relax naturally." Clara smiled. "It's comforting. Every step feels deliberate, like a gentle reminder that our emotions don't need to be forced or hurried." A soft breeze stirred the leaves, carrying the scent of jasmine and earth. Clara inhaled slowly and whispered, "Our senses hold memories and feelings, even without words. Smells, touches, sounds, they all remind our brains what emotions feel like and how to handle them gently." Ethan nodded, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "And sharing these simple moments with someone we trust amplifies the calm. Connection makes our hearts lighter and safer." The path led them to a small clearing, where the grass was soft, and the flowers swayed like whispers in the night. Clara knelt to touch a patch of lavender. Even small gestures of noticing, like feeling textures or watching light flicker, release calm and joy inside us. She whispered. Ethan knelt beside her. Observing our emotions gently works the same way. When we let feelings exist without judgment, they settle naturally. Above them, the stars twinkled softly, and the moon cast a silver glow over the garden. Clara whispered, "Even tiny joys, like starlight or the scent of flowers, remind us that happiness can exist quietly, even in dark moments. Every feeling can coexist with peace." Ethan nodded. Awareness and presence are the keys. When we notice what we feel, we give emotions a place to rest and grow. A few fireflies drifted lazily above the flowers, their soft light flickering gently, Clara whispered. Even small lights, tiny sparks, can remind us of hope and joy. Our hearts remember them long after the moment passes. Ethan smiled softly. And when we share them, the feeling doubles. That's why presence and connection are so important. They found a small stone bench beneath an arch of glowing vines and sat down. Clara rested her head on Ethan's shoulder. It feels like everything inside me is safe here. Every thought, every heartbeat, every feeling. Ethan held her hand. Yes, just noticing, just being present, is enough. Our hearts and minds can rest when we allow ourselves to be aware without judgment. The garden seemed to hum softly with life, every flower, leaf, and ripple of light echoing gentle peace. Slowly, sleep began to wrap Ethan and Clara in a calm embrace. On the path of quiet, every emotion, curiosity, fear, love, sadness, joy, was safe, acknowledged, and flowing naturally. Under the gentle moonlight, Ethan and Clara drifted into dreams. Carried by the quiet rhythm of emotions, fully at peace, and gently aligned with the calm and serenity of the night. After walking along the path of quiet, Ethan and Clara came to a small grove, where tall trees formed a soft, protective circle around them. The leaves whispered softly in the breeze, creating a gentle melody that seemed to echo the rhythm of their hearts. Clara whispered, "This place feels like it holds peace. Like every sound, every whisper is here to help us rest." Ethan nodded, smiling softly. "Yes, it feels like a sanctuary for emotions, where every feeling can exist safely." They stepped slowly into the grove, letting the soft grass cushion their feet. Ethan said quietly, "Did you know that being in silent spaces like this can lower stress hormones and help our brains process emotions more clearly?" Clara leaned against a tree trunk, her eyes closing briefly. Even silence teaches us something. It allows our hearts to speak when words are not needed. A gentle breeze carried the scent of pine and earth. Clara tilted her head and whispered, "Our senses hold memories and emotions. Even just noticing a smell, a texture, or the soft sound of leaves can calm the mind and soothe the heart." Ethan smiled softly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "And sharing this quiet with someone we care about strengthens trust and connection, letting our emotions feel lighter and safer." They wandered slowly to a patch of soft moss at the center of the grove and sat together. Clara reached out to touch it gently. Even small, simple gestures of noticing, touching moss, feeling the air, seeing the soft glow of moonlight, can bring calm and clarity. She whispered. Ethan nodded. Observing emotions works the same way. When we allow feelings to exist without rushing or judging them, they find balance naturally. Above them, the moonlight filtered through the leaves, creating delicate patterns on the forest floor. Clara whispered, "Even tiny sparks of beauty, like this light, remind us that joy and peace can exist quietly, alongside sadness or worry. Every emotion has its place." Ethan held her hand softly. "When we observe and accept them, our hearts and minds rest more easily. Awareness is a gentle form of care for ourselves." A few fireflies floated lazily above the grove, their soft lights flickering like whispers of hope. Clara whispered, "Tiny moments of wonder, like these lights, can leave lasting impressions of happiness and calm on the heart." Ethan nodded. "And sharing them with someone we trust makes the feeling even stronger. Connection helps our hearts stay at peace." They lay down on the soft moss, side by side, letting the grove cradle them gently. Clara rested her head on Ethan's shoulder. "It feels like everything inside me is calm here. Every thought, every heartbeat, every feeling," she whispered. Ethan held her hand a little tighter. "Yes, just being present and noticing is enough. Peace comes naturally when we allow ourselves to feel without judgment." The grove seemed to breathe softly with life, the leaves and air echoing quiet serenity. Slowly, sleep began to embrace them fully. In the grove of silence, every emotion, curiosity, fear, love, sadness, joy, was safe, acknowledged, and flowing gently. Under the soft moonlight and the gentle hum of the trees, Ethan and Clara drifted into dreams. Carried by the rhythm of their emotions, fully at peace, and gently aligned with the calm night around them. After resting in the grove of silence, Ethan and Clara walked together toward a softly glowing river. Winding through the landscape like a silver ribbon, the water moved slowly, reflecting the moonlight and the stars above. Clara whispered, "Rivers feel like they carry thoughts and feelings along with them, like they remind us that everything moves, even emotions." Ethan nodded. Yes, every feeling flows naturally, and noticing the current helps us let go without forcing anything. They walked along the riverbank, letting their fingers brush the cool, clear water. Ethan said softly, "Did you know that watching moving water can help our brains relax and reduce anxiety?" "The gentle flow gives our minds a rhythm to follow," Clara smiled, letting the water touch her palm. "It's comforting, like our emotions can flow instead of staying stuck inside. Every feeling has a way to move and release itself." The night was calm, filled with soft sounds, the gentle ripple of water, the distant call of night birds, and the whisper of leaves in the breeze. Clara leaned on Ethan's shoulder. "Even feelings we find difficult, like fear or sadness, have their purpose," she whispered. "They teach us about ourselves, about courage, and about what truly matters." Ethan nodded. "And feelings of joy, love, and curiosity remind us of beauty and warmth, giving balance to our hearts." Above them, the moon reflected like a silver lantern on the river's surface, Clara whispered. "Even small moments of awareness, like noticing the moonlight on water, or the soft ripples under our fingers, release calm in our minds." Ethan reached for her hand. "And sharing these gentle moments with someone we care about makes them feel even deeper. Connection gives emotions safety." They continued walking along the river, noticing how the water flowed around rocks, over moss, and beneath branches. Clara knelt to touch a smooth stone in the river. "Even obstacles in the flow don't stop the river," she whispered. "It finds a way around. Our feelings are the same, they find balance if we notice them without resistance." Ethan smiled softly. "Awareness is like guiding the river gently, not trying to control it, but letting it move naturally." Fireflies drifted lazily above the river, their soft light reflecting on the water's surface. Clara whispered, "Tiny sparks, small lights, even little joys like these fireflies remind us that happiness exists quietly and steadily." Ethan nodded, "And when we share them, the feeling multiplies. Connection and presence allow our hearts to rest fully." They finally reached a soft patch of grass beside the river and lay down, side by side. Clara rested her head on Ethan's chest. "It feels like everything inside me is flowing here. Every thought, every heartbeat, every feeling," she whispered. Ethan held her hand gently. "Yes, just noticing, just being present, allows our hearts and minds to rest. Peace comes naturally when we allow emotions to move freely." The river hummed softly, carrying the night's gentle rhythm. Slowly, sleep wrapped Ethan and Clara in a calm embrace. In the river of reflection, every emotion, joy, sadness, love, fear, curiosity, was safe, flowing, and fully understood. Under the quiet moonlight, Ethan and Clara drifted into dreams. Carried gently by the rhythm of their emotions, fully at peace, and aligned with the calm world around them. After resting by the river of reflection, Ethan and Clara followed a winding path that led them to a gentle hill. The slope dotted with tiny glowing flowers that shone like miniature stars, Clara whispered. "It feels like the stars have fallen here just for us, to guide our way." Ethan smiled softly. "Even small lights can remind our hearts that calm and hope are always around us, even in darkness." They walked slowly up the hill, feeling the soft grass beneath their feet. Ethan said quietly, "Did you know that noticing gentle lights and natural beauty can release calming chemicals in our brain? It helps the mind relax and emotions feel safe." Clara tilted her head to watch the soft glow, It's amazing how even small things, like light or gentle movement, can bring peace to the heart. As they reached the hilltop, they sat together on the soft grass, gazing up at the night sky, the stars above reflected in the glowing flowers around them, creating a sense of endless depth. Clara whispered, "Even difficult emotions, like worry or sadness, have a place in this universe. They remind us we are alive, and they guide us toward growth." Ethan nodded. "And emotions like joy, love, and curiosity balance the heavier feelings. They remind us of warmth and connection." A gentle breeze stirred the flowers, making the lights flicker softly. Clara reached for Ethan's hand. "Even tiny sparks, like these flowers or fireflies, can leave lasting impressions of calm and happiness on the heart," she whispered. Ethan squeezed her hand gently. "And sharing them makes the feeling stronger. Connection keeps our emotions safe." Above them, the moon shone softly, casting a silver glow over the hill. Clara whispered, "Even small moments of awareness, like noticing the stars, the breeze, or the glow around us, help our minds process emotions and find calm." Ethan smiled. Observing feelings without trying to change them allows them to settle naturally, like the soft flicker of these flowers. They lay down on the grass, side by side, feeling the hill cradle them gently. Clara rested her head on Ethan's shoulder. "It feels like everything inside me is calm here. Every thought, every heartbeat, every feeling," she whispered. Ethan held her hand a little tighter. "Yes, presence and awareness allow our hearts to rest. We don't need to control or force anything. Calm comes naturally." The hills seemed alive with quiet energy, the glowing flowers, the soft wind, and the distant whisper of night creatures creating a gentle lullaby. Slowly, sleep wrapped Ethan and Clara in a peaceful embrace. On the hill of stars, every emotion, joy, love, curiosity, fear, sadness, was safe, acknowledged, and flowing gently. Under the quiet night sky, surrounded by glowing flowers and soft moonlight, Ethan and Clara drifted into dreams. Carried gently by the rhythm of their emotions, fully at peace, and softly aligned with the calm world around them. Ethan and Clara slowly began to walk down from the hill of stars, hand in hand. The path led them into a small circle where everything seemed to radiate peace and calm. Soft grass, sparkling flowers, and a gentle breeze that brushed their faces. Clara whispered softly, "This place, it feels like all emotions come together here and find their place." Ethan smiled and said, "Yes, and this is true comfort. Every feeling has a safe space." They slowly sat in the center of the circle, just looking at each other and feeling the moonlight. Clara said, "All emotions, fear, sadness, joy, love, curiosity, they can exist together, and we can still feel safe and calm." Ethan gently held her hand and said, "When we observe these feelings without judgment, they naturally settle, and we feel whole inside ourselves." Inside the circle, the breeze rustled softly like gentle music. The flowers released a light fragrance, and fireflies flickered their soft glow. Clara whispered, "Every little thing, these sparks of joy, these gentle touches, these soft sounds, remind our hearts that peace and calm are always possible." Ethan smiled and said, "And when we experience them together, the connection becomes even deeper. Our hearts and minds align in a gentle rhythm." In the circle of calm, every emotion, fear, love, joy, sadness, curiosity, had its place. Each was acknowledged, and no feeling disturbed the peace. Slowly, sleep held them in its arms, carrying them gently into dreams, where every emotion was safe, balanced, and flowing peacefully. And in this way, Ethan and Clara's hearts and minds fully rested, softly aligned, and the peace of their emotional journey finally settled within them. The night whispered quietly around them, promising calm hearts, gentle dreams, and a peace that lasts even after sleep.